Hey guys, Matt here. Today I am in the kitchen rather than on the course because we're going to take a look at a subject that I haven't seen covered a whole lot, and that is disc golf disc repairs. It's kind of a touchy subject because until recently altering the disc had a lot of stipulations on it and still does, but as long as you are attempting to repair the disc to restore flight and make sure it flies the way that it always has and not alter the flight, then it's not outside the PDGA rulebook in most cases. I, of course, would definitely recommend you checking out your PDGA rulebook to make sure you're comfortable with any alterations you're making to the disc, but these are some things that I have done that are effective in restoring discs. First thing we're going to talk about is a lot of times with your putters and approach discs you throw a lot, especially if they hit a lot of trees, they can get warped and clover topped. This is one of my favorite reptilian disc golf stegos. As you can tell, it's badly clovered on top, and you could only you'd be generous calling it round at this point. You lay it on a table, it does not lie flat. And what I'm gonna do is the method where take hot water. I'm gonna use my electric kettle in this instance, and we're going to put the disc face down on a flat counter full of hot water with some pressure on top. I don't know how much that will restore the clover top, maybe a little, but what it definitely will do is hopefully flatten the disc back out a little bit so that it's not so warped. So I'm gonna get the water heating and we'll see what that looks like. Okay, now that we've got our water boiling, I'll flip the disc upside down so that its inner rim is facing up. And we're gonna put some of the boiling water in there. It's so clovered, it's kind of hard to fill, but I'll get it as close to the top as I can without spilling. And then I'm gonna put this cutting board on top of it to get a flat surface and seal the water. And I'll put my stock pot with some other smaller pots in there to make some weight. And we'll leave that there until the water cools, and hopefully it'll reshape the disc and make it a little bit flatter again. The other common problem I'm gonna take a look at today is gouges and nicks. So in this case, I've got a beautiful warhorse here, but it has this really deep gouge sticking off there. There's a couple ways you can handle that. You could just clip it off with nail clippers and file it down, but what I'm gonna try to do is maintain that wing shape as close as possible. So I'm going to try to get the dirt out of here as much as possible, give it a clean surface. And then we're just gonna use a common lighter to heat this and try to get it to re-adhere. I like to try to get the flame a little bit on the inside of the nick, and then while it's still hot, just use your finger to smooth it down. And it's probably not gonna look flawless, but what it will do is restore it closer to its original shape. Get it a little bit from the top here as well. And you could do this with work gloves or some sort of chopstick or wooden surface if you don't want to get your hands a little bit burnt. And just burn off the rough edges there. And as you can see now, it's not perfect, and it's a little bit dark because of the flame, but it's now a smooth surface that should keep it from flying less stable. Make that one baggable for much longer. Okay, so we've been about 20 minutes. I'm gonna remove the pots and the cutting board. And then we'll try to be careful dumping the water out, even though it's cool. So as you can see, it took a little bit of the clovering out of the top, but not a whole lot. But it did manage to flatten out that rim and help it be a lot more throwable. Hope you guys learned something and were able to help your game a little bit. Thanks a whole lot for tuning in. Have a great night.